This episode is brought to you by the Roxbury Urban Dive Bar, located at 1743 Grafton Street, right on the corner there of Grafton, right across from the Scotiabank Center. Make sure to hit up Roxbury before a Moosehead game. You'll get a lot cheaper drinks, cheaper food than what you'll pay in there at the Scotiabank Center. At the Roxbury, $5 food all day, all night. You cannot beat that. They have a DJ 7 nights a week. On Sunday night, consider it Sin Sundays. That is an industry night. $3 shots and $6 doubles, $5 pints. Prices like that you cannot beat downtown Halifax. Wednesday night, consider it 90s night. The Boozy Brunch, $5 food, $15 pitchers of Caesar. That is a weekend special. Whenever you're hungover, get in there, get some brunch, $5 food, $15 pitchers of Caesar. That is a great bang for your buck. And remember, when you are supporting the Roxbury, you are directly supporting the High Button. So make sure to get into the Roxbury, get some food, get some drinks, get some good service, and you'll be all right.
All right, let's just jump into it here. We're going. Welcome, Jackson, Tyler. What's going on?
What's up, buddy?
Everyone's a little late today, or things are not even. Everyone made it here on time. You got to lift the mic up, not that way. You got to talk into the white tape. White tape.
Talking to the white tape. There you go.
You got
like
it?
That, yeah.
Give me a test, Jackson.
Test.
All right, you're good to go.
Test.
Make it a little bit higher.
A little bit up.
Like, great. Fuck. These microphones suck. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Just like talk right there. Right there. We're good.
Good. Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, like I said in the intro, I'm happy that you're here because you know Jackson a little bit better than I do. You guys have some stories. Jackson, you got a crazy hockey resume. Your family has a crazy hockey resume. I don't even know where to start with this one. Do you know where? What should I ask first? I could ask a million things, but what do you think I should start with?
Just shoot.
Yeah.
All right. So what's it like your dad being a professional hockey coach, hockey player, and traveling everywhere with him? I'm thinking of, have you seen that movie Grapes, when the Don Cherry story, how he just travels everywhere?
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
But with you.
Yeah. No, it's been cool. It's one of those things that I guess you don't really realize the uniqueness of it until you kind of grow up and you come out of it a bit and you realize that not everyone grows up that way, and I think that when you're in it, you know that it's special and it's unique, but you don't truly appreciate what it means to just do the little things. Just come to the rink when no one's there and check it out and sit in the stalls and look at the guys' names and see all that. And I mean, that aspect of it for us was something that I think it took that understanding of these guys being heroes and so far away and kind of made it real. It said, it's here, you can go get this if you want. This is where you can kind of come through. And I think my dad did a good job of not pushing that, but showing it to us and just kind of saying, like, this is what these guys do for work. This is their job. This is what every day they wake up and they come here instead of doing something else. And with that, I think right away as kids, it made us see them as people and less of like the big stars that they were at the time, and for us growing up, that was kind of the cool part that I guess coming out of it, you look back and realize. But in that, I mean, it was a different childhood for sure, growing up and going through it and traveling all over the place. I mean, I loved it as a kid. It was always fun to pack up and move, and it usually always came on two spectrums. It was either dad was getting hired and promoted and we were going up, or dad was getting shit canned and we were getting fired, heading somewhere else. But either way, it just it came with the emotions and the ups and downs, and looking back on it now, it's a cool childhood going through it. I think it was something that I was lucky to have, and it was definitely unique, but it was fun, and got to experience a lot of cool things, got to kind of live all over the place and learn that the world's not that big of a place when you really get to travel around and meet different people and do all that. So
wasn't one of his jobs in St. John?
Yeah.
So that was like a while ago, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah. So that was in I think he got hired in 99 or 98 maybe, and then they won the Calder Cup there in 2001, I think. Yeah. I remember you telling me about that. I was like, not your first time in the Maritimes, which is hilarious because like everyone always asks me like, why do you come back? Like, what was like part of your reason? Because I was out west since I was like, I think we moved out to Calgary when I was 9. We've been out there ever since, and then playing the Western League and all that. And legit, I just remembered being a kid and like being down at Harbor Station and St. John, and I thought it was the coolest, and like the team was so good, and I was young, and they won all the time, and then they ended up winning the Calder Cup. And those are kind of the big moments you look back on and you're like, holy shit, like that was crazy. Like they won the Calder Cup, And like as soon as the game ended, we like crawled over the glass, like went onto the ice. Like my dad had security, we jumped on the ice, and like my brother was skating around on like guys' shoulders and stuff like that. And those are the stuff you look back on, and I think that really did like resonate in me as like, I love the East Coast, like I love all these like things that we got to do. And coming back, I mean, there's times it's hilarious. We walk down the street and I get like the smell of like the East Coast air, and I'm like, man, this is the same thing as when I was 8 years old, like going down to Harbor Station. So yeah, that's the cool part about growing up, kind of all over, you know.
Because when you're younger, like when we lived in Halifax, you think of the Mooseheads as just like, that's it. That's the show right there. Yeah. And you actually got to experience the show as a young kid, and you got to go behind the scenes. So I couldn't imagine, like back when I'm watching the Mooseheads, the game's over, I get to go in the room and talk to the guys. Like my head would just be blown. And you actually got to do that on a different level. Like, come on. Yeah. It's incredible.
Yeah, no, we were super lucky, man. And that was the cool part about it, was it taught us so much about the game and life, in a sense, just being able to read and understand what that meant to be around those people, you know. And it's hard when you're kids and you just want to run around and steal sticks and steal tape and bubble gum and all this, and my dad had to really instill it at the young age that like, hey, there's times and places for all that, but when you're in the room after he's got spanked 6'2", you can't be running around acting like a little kid if you want to be here. So that was kind of like, I guess you look back on it, and then with the guys like having you around because they understand it and they have their own kids and all that kind of stuff. So there's definitely the cool memories of just chatting with some of those guys, you know, and just being able to just kind of I mean, you're a kid, so you don't really understand the fact that they're all millionaires or that they're doing this or that. You're kind of just like, it's a guy, you know. And the funny story, that when they were on their when they went on the run there in 2004, my dad was the assistant coach, and the city was insane. Like, I've never seen it. I was talking with my roommate the other day, like, you didn't see a car in Calgary that didn't have like at least 2, if not 4 of those like flags that come out, stick on your window. On the window, Man, you drive down Deerfoot and there would just be flags all over the highway, because like as soon as you unroll your window, they'd fall right off. Anyways, the city was nuts, and we were down there, and my dad took us to the rink on an off day when no one was around. We were skating on the ice and stuff, and he had some work to do after we were done, so we were just hanging out in the room, checking out the guys' stalls and stuff like that. And so we go home.
I'm jealous listening.
So we go home, and like 2 days later, my dad comes home, and he's like, he's so like, my dad's the most emotional guy, but he's like got that like the coach like stone cold look to him, but then like as a family man, he's like an emotional guy. So he comes home, he's got tears in his eyes, and he's like, Austin, my little brother at the time's like probably 5, maybe 5 or 6, and he's like, did you draw these? And they're a bunch of like pictures like of the guys hosting the Stanley Cup, like, and there's like a Ginla and like Kippersoft, Rob Regier, and all these like different guys drawn out on a piece of paper, and he had like written them out and then went and put them underneath like all the guys' stalls, like in the room. So the guys like seen them and brought them. They're like, Jimmy, like, I think these are your boys. And my dad was like crying. My little brother's like, yeah, like, I'm telling them they need to win the cup. Like, leave them. He's like, leave them in their stall. My dad's like, okay, like, I'll tell them. But yeah, and then like, and that's the stuff. I mean, it's cool because you hear these kids now coming up that are playing the NHL, and they all have their stories, you know, of these guys. And I mean, it is. You're lucky to realize that that's a small percentage of kids that get to experience that. And I think that no matter what it is, you love going to work with your dad or doing what he's doing or checking it out. And for a long time, that's what it was. It was just going to work with dad, checking it out. And looking back now, it's like, damn, it was cool.
Yeah, you'd still love to be doing that.
Yo, man, I know, every day I'm like, fuck, I can go back.
Well, that's sick, man. What an opening story. Like, wow. Incredible.
Yeah. So,
well, what kind of teammate is he, Nosy?
Oh, he's a good teammate. He's a good teammate, good roommate. Yeah. I always enjoyed his company on and off the ice. Yeah, we I think would have been, so it was your first year, it was my first year too, my only year. I think we we were rewarded with our ice time a little bit differently, being first year guys. But I went to the game last night there when they were playing St. FX, and Jax is playing a big role now, so it was good to see. And I actually had we had our major Bantam team there watching last night, so tried to use that as like an educational tool. We were basically like, bring a notepad and a pen and watch a guy play in your position. And so like afterwards we kind of chatted about it, and the boys were picking out players and stuff like that, and number 18 on Dow was playing well. I was like, oh yeah, it's my buddy. So it's
there you go.
Good stuff. Yeah.
Did the kids go down and talk after the game, or they just
no? So it's I was gonna say something there. Jax was talking about how if you're a kid in the locker room, you got to be able to read a situation of whether or not you just lost or you just won, kind of know the energy. And I was telling Alds there, I was like, man, if Dal wins, like there's a good chance we could pop the boys down, and maybe Dons would like address them and just kind of say, you boys saw the speed out there, make sure you listen to your coaching staff, yada yada, that type of stuff. But I was like, they lost a tough one. It was a great game, and I was like, probably not the best time to go down and ask Dons to address a bunch of kids. I'm sure he would have, but it's you gotta read the situations, right?
Would it have been appropriate last night if they came down?
Oh man, last night was tough.
Yeah, it was a tough one. Yeah.
We blew a couple leads, but the other thing that's important about that too is, I think you want to make sure that when those kids get the opportunity to have impressionable moments like that, they're good moments for them, And I think for any kid and being around people who have that kind of, not saying that we do being at Dow, but that impressionability on people, it's important that if you only get a moment to talk to them, that you can give them that your best moment, you know? And I think that's a big thing about any level of sports is, you don't want to have the guy kind of just in not even a moment, not really thinking, kind of blow a kid off, and all of a sudden that kid gets turned off.
Exactly.
So, no, that's probably a good read, but no, we were together for 1 year. It was a hell of a year.
Yeah, good rookie campaign.
Yeah, it was a great rookie campaign.
There you go.
Had the pleasure of living with Mr. Steven Johnson as well.
Man,
you guys, all three of you live together?
Yeah.
Where'd you guys live at?
We were basically
campus?
on campus, like right across the street
from the
what's that building there?
Like the Killam parking lot?
Yeah, like the basically on campus. Like could have thrown a rock at it.
Oh Jesus.
But it was good.
Yeah, I'm sure that was fun, eh?
We started out hosting the parties, but then our landlord didn't like that too much, so it got transferred to another player's house. But it was good.
There you go. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I want to talk to you about your dad in the freak out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you get sick of people asking you about it?
I don't know, not really. No, I mean, no, honestly, it's not. It's just something that always it's gotta be. It comes up, right? But it's honestly, man, it was one of those things that, again, I guess being in it, it's hard to kind of step out and look at it until you get to a point where you're like, holy shit, that was kind of a big deal. And it's like we're like 10 years later and it's still on Sports Center. I'm like, all right, like let's cool it a bit, but
10 years later,
literally
greatest freakouts.
Crazy, man. And like every once in a while, one of the boys would be like, "Seen your dad?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I know. Probably wasn't a good interview. Like, it definitely was the one thing that I know you've seen him on." But, no, the story behind it's actually kind of funny. So my little brother was a stick boy because my dad was coaching the Abbotsford Heat at the time, which was Calgary's farm team. Yeah. And so my little brother was a stick boy, and I was going through like. In BC, it's like the team BC, like U15s, I think it is, or U16s maybe.
Okay.
And we like go to you go to the rink, and then they house the kids for the weekend or whatever. You like bring your bag. It's like a tryout camp. So I was there it was like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday thing. And when we got there Friday, they took all of our phones away, and it was just, we were all like hanging out, all the kids trying out. So I was there for the whole weekend. So it was Friday or Saturday night. He gets kicked out and the whole like shabacle goes down, and then Sunday I still don't know what's going on because we're all like, no one really knew what happened yet. And then the next day my mom came to my game, and like after we finished the game we were getting our phones back like whatever after that. So I see my mom and I'm like, I kind of heard something about it, but I was like, what happened? And she's like, oh, your dad just got kicked out of the game last night. And he's gotten kicked out before. Like, it's not like a huge deal, it doesn't happen all the time, but he gets kicked out here and there. So I'm like, oh, whatever. So I get my phone, and at the time I was going to school and like at the Okanagan Hockey Academy, which is in Penticton. Okay. So it was like a boarding school, and we had some European guys on our team, and they were back for like school break in Europe, and they were texting me being like, yo, like, have you seen the video of your dad? And I was like, what? So I'm like, this is way bigger than I thought it was.
I gotta stop you for a sec. Back then, do they have the iPhones? Like, can you see video?
No.
Okay, so you gotta find a computer. Okay,
and like I'm like on my flip phone, like I'm dialing like like this one, you know. So I'm like, oh boy. So I get home, and I'm not kidding you, man. I walk in the house, and my mom's making dinner, and like my dad's sitting on the couch, and I literally just like drop my bag and I look at him. I'm like, what happened? And he was like, oh, like, it wasn't that big of a deal, like blah blah blah, I got kicked out. And I'm not kidding you, like as he's talking, TSN's playing on the background, and they cut the break, and as they cut the break, it's just him annihilating sticks off the bench. And I just look at him and I'm like, are you serious right now? And he's like, he literally looks at me, he's like, just wait. And he rips his jacket off, and I'm just like, Jesus, man. I'm like, that's not good. And he's like, well, he's like, you gotta hear the story. So he starts telling me about the whole, like, what happened and everything. And I'm like, man, I mean, I never thought it would be that big. And then it just kept blowing up. It was one of those things that just kept getting more hits and more traction. And I mean,
and think about it, that wasn't even in the social media age. Imagine if that happened today.
Yeah.
Oh,
crazy.
Yeah. Well, it's still relevant.
Yeah.
Like, it's still in the top 5 somewhere.
Always, man. It's all, that's the thing. It doesn't even move down the list. So like goes up.
Nothing more insane happens than that, like lately. So
yeah,
no, it's funny.
But it's actually hilarious, because what ended up happening, and the whole thing when it all shook out, is the league like reviewed it all, and what happened on the play was they ran the goalie like or something, and then we went back and ran the goalie, and it was kind of a questionable call, so they were going at it, and then he freaked out or whatever. But when the league reviewed the whole thing, they actually took the guy, so the guy who ran the goalie got a 10 and a 2 and like got kicked out of the game. And they actually took his penalty minutes away, so they like rescinded the call in the league, which is kind of crazy. And then they didn't fine him, but he had to pay like, I think he had to pay like $750 to Reebok, because like the league had a Reebok deal for their sticks. And like you can't break, like if you break a stick on purpose, it's like a $250 fine. So they had like video of him breaking it, and they're like, yeah, you got to write a check to Reebok. My dad's like, are you serious right now? They're like, yeah. So that was all he got fined for it.
That's incredible. To hear that story behind the scenes is awesome. You're all just in the kitchen, you guys are watching, just wait, just watch this.
Oh, it's nuts, man. It was nuts. And I'm like, you do know everyone's gonna think you're a complete psycho at home. And he's like, well, I'm not. So like, tell them I'm not. I'm like, yeah, I don't know.
Well, your dad's gonna be watching this probably, so we'll see that you told the right story.
Yeah, exactly. You're not crazy, man. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. So yeah, your brother, an actor as well, plays a big role in Letterkenny. Probably one of the funnier hockey characters I've ever seen. It's really hard to portray a hockey character and not make it look phony. I think your brother does a great job at it. So yeah, tell me about your brother's background. How did he get involved in acting? And the day he landed the role, was there did you guys go out for dinner or celebrate? I don't know, like
it's actually a crazy story. His whole, I mean, first off, the best part about Dylan that I always say to people is, I'm like, the reason Riley is such a good actor is because that's Dylan off screen. Like, he doesn't change much when when he comes off the screen. He's a little bit, but like he's like, and that's just his personality. Is he runs high, and he's just like he's always got that energy with him. But it was crazy, man. You know what? He when I was 17, he was I was trying out for junior A in Langley in the BCHL, and he had played the year before in Merritt, and he was going into his 19-year-old year, and it was 20-year-old year maybe, and they ended up cutting him like at the deadline. So he was kind of in the middle of maybe staying in hockey. He wasn't sure what he was going to do, but he wasn't really he didn't really throw up tons of numbers, and he was kind of scrapping his way through, and he wasn't sure if he wanted to keep doing it, and he's not a huge guy. So push came to shove, and I remember he called me one day, and I was like, well, what do you want to do? Like, do you want me to try and get you a tryout here? Or like, what are you thinking? And he just so calmly on the phone, he goes, you know what, man? I'm going to move to Vancouver, and I think I'm going to become an actor. And I was like, Yeah, dude, that's awesome. And he had shown a little bit of it. Like, I think he was in like a high school play, but it was never anything that he really, like, I genuinely thought he wanted to pursue, you know? And just went down, moved into Vancouver, kind of went through the steps, went to school for a bit, and then things just kind of started to take off for him. He was playing on a hockey team, which is actually, the Letterkenny story is hilarious. So he's playing on this hockey team, just beer league in Vancouver, through some other buddies he'd met through acting and stuff like that. And Jared Kiso, who created the show, him and Nate Dales both played on the hockey team, and they just started making these Letterkenny problem videos, like skits. Just a short skits,
just like those YouTube things. That's how it started, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were 3 minutes, like literally 2 3-minute skits. And I don't know how many of them they had, but originally all it was like Jared Kiso and Nate Dales, and they were going back and it was just like single shots. So like shoot, Kiso would like say something, and then it would shoot to Dales, he would say something, they just go back and forth with just the quick, like
the farmers you're talking about, right? Like the low farmer guys. Okay, yeah.
So the 2 farmer guys, so they were doing those, and I think they had probably 4 of them, and they were just talking about like problems that you have growing up in these small towns. And then they wanted to make a hockey player one, and so they came to the rink one day, and it was kind of those things like, hey, come out, we're filming out in Chilliwack. The thing hadn't really quite taken off yet, and Dylan and his buddy Andrew Herr, who plays Jonesy, they went out, and it was, honest to God, it was like a case of beer, hang out kind of thing. Film it, and they had an idea in their head, and they shot it, and it just, another thing, just blew up, just hit YouTube, and it really went off. And I think it kind of just, it resonated in so many people in Canada, at least, that the hockey player, you could finally kind of connect to it, where the farmers was hilarious if you understood that world. If you knew a farmer in a small town of wherever, it was hilarious. But everybody knows the junior hockey beauty. Like, everybody knows
they
that
combine like the small town farm with the small town junior hockey team, like kind of life, right? With the hot sister. And,
And there you go.
I was just gonna say, I think that's really where the show just kind of it hit a spark and took off. Was they connected those pieces of just, we got our base now, and we're just gonna keep growing it. And then after that, they just, you know what? I mean, have them watch them grow, and they give them credit. They stayed with it, and they wanted to make sure that they kept their creative ability to write and direct and do it their way. And in that, it kind of took them time to take off, and they didn't really go to like right away going to a TV or whatever. They kind of held off for a bit. Now they've gone to Crave, but now it's kind of all taken off and worked out for them to get to a point where they get to, Jared still writes all the episodes, and they still kind of have all the control they want in it. So it's cool, man. It's been kind of one of those things that it seems like it's happened so fast, but it's been a kind of a slow growing process for them every day, you know. And I mean, the biggest thing is though, like talking to Dylan, it's kind of a team mentality they have with that show, and everybody loves everybody, and they're so close as a group of people that they're just happen to be working together. And I think that's part of the reason why they do so well, and people do see it as such a funny show, because it's genuine. Like, they film in Sudbury, Ontario, and the majority of the people on the show are from a small town, or they have somebody they know is from a small town. They get their character, and they play it as closely as they can, and I think they all do a great job. Like, it's really well done.
It's interesting how you say like that is who your brother is off screen, because when I said at the beginning, I was like, he portrays a junior hockey player so well, and it's funny, you just go, that's just who he is. It's not acting.
It's hilarious too, because he's got, for his, like, he is as close to that character as he can be, and then he grows. But he's hilarious. Like, we talk about it all the time, and he's like, I literally just picture some of the guys that I grew up with playing like Bantam AAA, AAA, some of those guys that you just knew that were like the hockey beauties. And he's like, I just try and be that guy on camera as much as I can be. But it's one of those things that he's not, I mean, as much as he is acting, it's really just kind of joking around with your buddy, you know. And that's so much of hockey, is joking around, trying to get guys to laugh, trying to get guys to have fun, loosen up. And when you're on a set like that, I think that's what a lot of it is it's a bunch of funny people trying to make each other laugh, and eventually they just
capture it on camera.
Exactly. And that's what he says, is he says a lot of the times they're shooting, they have their scripts, but they'll just keep rolling after they shoot, and guys just keep going. And I mean, you've been in a locker room where you sit there and drink beers for 3 hours after practice, after a game, because you're like, you don't want to leave. Like, this is the best place to be. The funniest guys are in this room, and I think that's what they have going there. So it's really cool. It's really, and it's
Keep going.
Oh, you're good?
No, yeah, keep going. I'm gonna go hang it up.
No worries. It's such a family based setup like that, and they're so close. Like, all the guys in the show, and they're all good buddies. They all hang out together and stuff like that. So, yeah, no, they're doing. It's awesome, man. It's so cool to see them doing well. For
Sick.
sure.
And you said he's living in Vancouver now in a not a frat house, but
yeah. Well,
tell the story.
He just graduated, so he, you know what? They
lift the mic up just a little bit. Here. It's all good.
He lived in Vancouver in this house with it was like legit a trap house, but it was a little bit nicer. And they there's like 5 of them, and actually it's really cool. They kind of all randomly met just through needing somewhere to live and being a buddy of a buddy and kind of stuff like that. And he's kind of got a good group of friends that he's been buddies with now for probably 8 years in Vancouver. But they used to live in this house on the street was called East Boulevard, and there's a bunch of them that lived there, and they ended up, like, one of the kids got into music and doing art design, and then Dylan got into acting, and they've all kind of went into their own creative backgrounds, and they've all started companies based off of East Boulevard. So like East Boulevard's kind of their label that they do everything under. So Dylan has a film company, and his buddy's got a music or record label and stuff like that. So they lived in that house for like ever, and kind of all got started there, and then the house got black mold, so they all had to move out. So by the time that happened, they rented a place up the street in Vancouver, and it's my little brother's living there, and my older brother actually within the past kind of year and a half met a girl and got pretty serious, and they moved in together, and they actually just got engaged 3 weeks ago.
Shit, Jesus.
Yeah. So he's growing up slowly, but yeah, no, it's cool, and that's kind of one of those things that it's been cool to see. Dylan kind of has had with his friends now. My little brother's going through it and stuff like that, but just being around creative people and kind of feeding each other and keeping each other kind of going on what they want to do, and making sure that everyone's kind of chasing their dreams and doing what they want to do. And his house kind of instilled that in him, and it's been working out for him. I mean, he's doing well, and
unreal, man.
Yeah,
cool family.
Yeah. Is he getting like other opportunities within acting and like? Yeah, because it's, I mean, like you said, like that's that character is basically him, right? So like, is he trying to form like new personas and stuff because he's got things like up and coming, like kind of on his plate right now, or? Yeah, well, that was the thing. Like, he kind of when he first got into it, he actually got like quite a few like hockey player specific roles. Like he got that Letterkenny role, and then it was kind of during / before also he was getting a bunch of other roles as a hockey player. He did the Gordie Howe story so it was the same one as The Grapes on CBC, but it was like a 5-part series or whatever, and it was for Gordie Howe. So he played Mark Howe, Gordie's son, in that, and then just did a couple other things with just because he had the look of the hockey player kind of thing, so it was easy for him. And I don't think he ever consciously decided he wanted to do less of it. I think he likes that that's kind of his role for that show, but I don't think he wants to be only doing that guy. You know? So he his 2 biggest things are he got in doing a show with Disney. It's like a made for TV show where they, you know, I guess when we were kids it was probably like, I guess High School Musical was kind of past our age, but that idea of shows, you know, it's called Descendants, and it's so he did the second one, and then they just filmed the third one this summer. So I mean, he's been working for Disney and then getting gigs doing. He's got a couple shows on Netflix right now.
Unreal.
That's sick.
If you keep
that's where you want to be.
If you keep busy as an actor out west Vancouver, like, you're set. It's unreal.
And that's his thing. Is the Descendants show is all LA based actors for the most part,
and then they fly them up to Vancouver,
and they put them up in like it's crazy. They put them up in a hotel and put them there for like 3 months while they film and stuff like that. But I mean, it's so close. Like, you're only a 2.5 hour flight, right, to get down there. So
it's so much cheaper to make a movie or television show in Vancouver rather than LA. So it's just boom in that industry. That's why I was out in Vancouver. Like I did some background acting. I'm actually pretty sure I was going to say maybe I was in The Descendants. I don't think so. But there's just a shitload of things out there to work in.
Yeah.
Even if you're not like a star like your brother, like you can be in a background industry and still make good money.
Oh, it's crazy.
So much.
Everyone that's kind of been and is going through it is saying that Vancouver's blowing up the same way. I mean, they kind of say it's like LA 10 years ago. I don't know if it'll get to that extent, but exactly where the dollar's at and how they can film at that cost up in Vancouver, everything's growing. And then obviously with that, all the other parts of being in films grows with makeup and this and that and all those things. So yeah, it's sweet. And I mean, Vancouver's beautiful. I love it. I go back there in the summers when I can and stuff like that. And he's a big proponent of it, saying that you don't need to be down in LA. So I mean,
no, you don't.
It's really kind of just if you can get busy and stay busy, then you're good to go. And he's I mean, for as much as I say he's lucky enough, he works hard at what he does to get to that point. But it's one of those things, you just catch a break and then stay with it and you just run with it. Better.
Unreal. Switch topics here. So what's it like training with Austin Matthews in Arizona?
Oh man, I was lucky. It was
I was lucky.
It was crazy, man. It was cool because, again, I think...
You gotta lift it a bit. Sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's all good. There you go.
I think that, like I kind of said earlier, is being around those people and at least being able to understand that for as much as he was and is such an exceptional talent, he's a person and he's a guy who wants to hang out and do what you want to do and
I keep forgetting
relax.
That.
Sometimes I think he's
he's just the best player in the
NHL. But that's the funny part is that I was lucky enough that there's just a great group of guys down there that when we moved down, I didn't know anybody and that's kind of how it went. Growing up with our life, you kind of moved to a new city in the first year, you really didn't have any friends. I mean, you had buddies and friends, but it's not like your buddy you've known for 10 years kind of thing, you know, and you got to find a way to find a group of guys that'll open up their circle of friends and kind of welcome you in. And I think that everywhere you go, there's great people that'll do that. And we got lucky that one of my first years there, just kind of playing against a guy I knew who's played in the Western League and stuff like that. He'd been JT Barnett, lived down in Vancouver, and he kind of introduced us to everybody and got us into the hockey circle, I guess, down there. And then
hockey community's great. Welcoming, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so we got a good group of guys down there. That was about 8 of us for probably 4 years. We all trained and skated together. And then that's the thing is, because you're in Arizona, not Halifax or Toronto or somewhere like that, where I had no business being on the ice with some of these guys, but they needed bodies, and I was there. So I was a junior hockey player. So you're out on the ice with some of the best players in the world.
Skate with Doan?
Yeah.
Did you?
Skating with Donor. We worked out with Donor, got to know Donor really well, living down in Arizona. He's just such a good guy. He's just such a good person and in every aspect of the word, and such a professional. And that's the thing, we got really lucky. We were training at a facility down there called Exos, which is
sounds legit.
It's legit. Yeah, I always joke, I'm like, it's like Globo Gym. Like, you walk in there, Globo Gym. You literally just feel better than everybody. You're like, what's up, losers? I'm here to work out. But no, it was a great facility, and so all the NHL guys who'd stay there, they would train there. And then again, just because of this kind of a numbers game, we all got to work out together. And so I was, again, so lucky that for 2 years I got to work out with Shane Doan and Derek Morris and a couple NHL guys who'd been in the game for a long, long time. And so yeah, then going back, again, working out with those guys and seeing the level of effort and what they put in every day to be at the level they are, it's something that kind of just it just perks you up when you're that young and you're there and you understand it and you see it, and it's like, all right, if I want to get close to going anywhere, like I got to get to something that resembles this work ethic. And that's crazy. And I think in saying that, I think some guys that's something that's just deep down and you can't take that from guys. And I think you can work on that and stuff like that. But I mean, working out with Austin Matthews, I think the one thing that I learned from the time he walked in the gym is he's one of the most competitive, like hardest working people I've ever met in my life. And he's not the guy that's going to get in your face and be competitive, but at the same time, he expects to win and beat you at absolutely anything.
How funny is that? Like, you hear that same story with McKinnon, with Crosby, with all these guys. You just hear that competitive nature is ridiculous.
No, it's crazy.
It's all it is.
We used to go play basketball, and like in Arizona, it's like stays 100 degrees till like forever. So you can go play basketball in the dark, and like we'd always wait for the street lights to come on, so it's a little bit like less. I mean, you try and not die out there, but so we'd always go out and just play like 2-on-2 and 3-on-3, and man, like he'd be going up for rebounds, throwing elbows at guys, and just like giving it. And like we'd literally be like Pop, because everyone in this like down in Arizona calls him Poppy, and I'd be like, Poppy, like you can't be elbowing us, like we don't want to play like that, man. Like he literally just looked at us and be like, if you want to go in the paint, like that's what's gonna happen. Like you gotta get your elbows up. And I mean, then again, the guy's just a freak too. Like I think one of the first days we were working out together, he was like 16 or 17, and we're hang cleaning, and this guy walks up and like hang cleans 225, like it's nothing. This is warm up set. He's got like 275 in the bar. I'm like squatting 140, feeling like a beauty. I'm like, I'll do some deadlifts. They're like, yeah, let's hang clean. I'm like, not for me. But yeah, and I mean that's the thing is from that, like when you see somebody like that and you see it behind the scenes, it all kind of the puzzle gets put together when you see him working out and you see him putting the effort in and stick handling and shooting and all this kind of stuff. It's like, he's gonna be, I mean, it's great to see what he's doing, and I've always said to the guys, I'm like, he's gonna be insane. Like it's not gonna stop, because like that's the kid who's gonna elbow you in the face, go get the ball and pick up basketball. That's the guy who's gonna play his heart out every game. So
talk about the market that he's allowed to play, not allowed, that he is playing in.
Oh man,
wow.
That's that was so like lucky, right? Because you go from, so he's in Arizona playing hockey his whole life until you get to the U18s, and then you go to Europe and stuff. But
smallest hockey market.
Yeah, talk about going from there to being drafted first overall by the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Biggest hockey market,
right?
It's insane, man.
Like he's probably just like in his element there.
Like,
dude, and that's the thing is, I think for the Canadian kids, the story coming up is, he's so engulfed by hockey. He just like Crosby just loves hockey so much. They love, and I think that Austin had that love, but it couldn't grow the same way.
It was kind of sheltered a bit.
Wait, what do you mean?
I mean in the sense of like he didn't get to go to the hockey tournaments and everyone see him as the best, and like he didn't get the prodigy of like Crosby and McKinnon, these kids where when they're like 4 years old, they're like, this guy's gonna be in the NHL. He's the guy.
This is the guy, and we already know.
And I think in that it kind of made it. You can never explain to somebody the Toronto hockey market, and that's the thing is like we'd be driving, and the summer he got drafted was kind of probably the summer like that. He got drafted in June, so that summer before it was kind of the most that we hung out. We were all training together, and he was kind of living at our place here and there. And I remember telling him, I'm like, man, like you don't get it, like you don't. And he's like, no, like I know it's like I get it, like. And I'm like, dude, I'm telling you, like, you know how like Steve Nash was a big deal when he played for the Suns, like that's nothing. Like you won't be able to walk around in Toronto. Like it's not like you're just gonna live in Toronto and be living there. Like you're gonna be living in your house in the rink, and that's it. Like,
and then what did he say when you said that to him?
It's one of those things. He's like, yeah, like I know, like they're gonna like it's gonna be crazy. And then his first year, I was lucky. I got to go up there and watch him play, and we went for dinner the next day, and he was just like,
you just said that casually. You just said that like, okay.
But he was just like, yeah, dude, it's nuts. He's like, it's insane. Like it's such a different world. Like I don't even think you can even comprehend or understand like that life. Like I mean, even listening to like the Spit and Chicklets and stuff like that, it's like it's a whole nother world.
I'm sweating right now listening to you. Like,
he's like, we went to dinner the next day, and then Austin was like, I'll call the escort service so they can pick us up in a vehicle in a dark car and hide us.
Man, I know the boys are gonna roast me. They're like, stop talking about Poppy when you go on podcast. Like, all people want to talk about. Like, what do you say?
Why Poppy?
His mom's from Mexico. So she's
Are poppies big in Mexico?
no, just like
You know how
papi.
you know how people
papi.
say that.
Oh,
Yeah,
papi.
it's like a Mexican thing.
Okay, I get it.
I don't know where I get, honestly, that was before I ever met him. Like that was when he was just a young little guy. They started calling him Poppy. I believe kind of the backstory is he skates with this Russian skills coach down in Arizona named Boris.
I know that guy.
Yeah.
Not know him, know of him.
Yeah. I think everyone's kind of, he's gaining some notoriety, and he's got these like insane like drills and like all this stuff that they got these kids doing. And I mean, you look at it, it's worked out for him for sure. But I think it kind of started from that kind of thing where he was skating with this guy, and this guy started calling him Poppy or something like that. But
That could stick.
yeah,
I want to get back to the dinner though. Where was it like mayhem when you guys went out to dinner? Where people keep coming up to you guys, or are you in a booth?
Yeah,
a curtain or something?
No, we actually we went for, I think they were leaving that night or something, so we went out at like 4:00 and we just went to like a sushi restaurant down the street. And no one was really there. He was kind of just chilling by himself when we walked in. But he said the craziest thing was when he really first time was like, oh my god, was I guess where the players park at the arena, there's like underneath the
Air Canada Center.
Yeah, it's underneath so they had drive down a ramp underneath the arena or whatever, and they come up. And he said like him and Marner used to like carpool to the games, but then fans like realized what car was Marner's, and because like when you come out, that's just so, it's like you're right in downtown, right? So it's so congested, and like it's easy to kind of follow cars like on the sidewalk.
Oh yeah,
because like
they're not moving. People move as fast.
Yeah,
at
exactly.
some points, yeah.
Exactly. So he said that like they'd leave, and all of a sudden they'd look back, and there'd be like 20 people just like mobbing after the car, like trying, and they'd be like cutting down streets, trying to like lose people.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah, dude.
Man.
He said it's crazy. So then he said after that they had to start getting like rides to the rink, or they'll like wait for everyone to leave and stuff like that. But
I wonder if they get like cars following them after the game, or if it's like,
Yeah,
do you think people like want to know where he lives downtown Toronto? Like a car would follow him?
Well, I mean, people are crazy, so yeah.
people are nuts, man.
Like seriously, you'd have to get like a blacked out Uber or something to every game, so that it was a different looking vehicle like pulling in. It could have been any one of the players, right? But
yeah, man,
if it's a first overall pick, they know it, they're chasing, right?
Yeah, I mean,
that's scary.
It's another world.
When was that when you went to see him? Was that
was my second year?
It was your second year. Okay,
his
yeah,
first year,
yeah. So his draft year was when we played together, right? And he was still in Swiss.
Our first year together was when he was playing in Switzerland.
Yeah, because I remember, the following year you were playing, I was gone away, and I was watching the first game where he scored 4 goals. I was texting you, I was like,
dude,
this is a hot start if I've ever seen one.
Crazy. Forgot about that.
Yeah, crazy, man.
That's just one of the memories of him, and how it's third year in the NHL right now.
Yeah,
and think about how many memories he's made so far.
Just crazy.
Now he's all steezed up every day.
It's unreal.
Full sleeve tatty, just looking sick.
And he hasn't even been paid yet.
Oh man. He's about to get paid.
Funny story about that, man. So when we were in Arizona, like I was telling, we were saying earlier, my parents go up to the cabin in the summer, so I'd always like have the house down in Arizona. They would stay down and train, and we kind of would have the boys over and just hang out and stuff like that after workouts. So one day after work, I like drop my brother off. Austin comes over, they're hanging out at the house. I run out to go do something. I come back, and at the time my little brother was just getting into fashion, like because he's always been pretty like artsy and creative and that, and he actually just went to fashion school for a year. He just finished, my younger brother, but he was just kind of getting into it, and he was just like altering his own clothes and kind of like doing a little bit of things here and there, cutting necks off of stuff, and just very basic. But so I go out one day, come back, and like I'm like looking around the house, can't find Austin, don't know where either of them are. So I go in the backyard, and Austin, like my little brother's name's Austin, but so my little brother, he's got the sewing machine going, and he's like hemming a pair of pants, and Matthew's just standing there in like his boxers, butt naked. He's got his t-shirt, he's cutting his t-shirt, and I'm like, I literally look at you guys, I'm like, what are you two doing? And they're like, well, he's like, well, he's hemming my pants, and like I'm altering this shirt, and I'm like, dude, you guys are idiots. Like just fabric going all over the ground.
Oh man, that's funny.
Best story on the high button right there is that right there. Austin Matthews altering his pants into him in his shirt.
God.
And that's the funniest part is like that was when he had gotten back from Switzerland. So like my little brother was going to like, he was going to the thrift store and grabbing like $5 jeans.
Oh, yeah.
And like hemming them up and cutting them. And so Matthews was like, oh, that's sick. Like I want you to hem some of my stuff. So he brings over, and Austin's like looking at, my little brother's like looking at his jeans, and he's like, man, like these are like $650 jeans. And he's like, yeah, well, like I don't know, I just want you to like hem them, like bring them in a bit. And Austin's like, well, what if I mess up? He's like, I don't know, it's not a big deal.
Yeah,
like,
not a big deal.
Didn't even care. And I was like,
He made enough money in Swiss even then.
dude, yeah.
Wow.
That's hilarious, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man, we were lucky. We were very, very lucky to get to meet some cool guys and grow up in a cool place. That city is insane.
Your other buddy there, JT, he's into that type of shit too, eh? Like,
oh yeah,
fashion and stuff.
Oh yeah, man.
I think I told you this. I was trying to get him to come play in Australia. I was talking to him on Instagram there, and he was like, man, like, I really have been considering it. Like, I was like checking, he's like following like AIHL teams and like AIHL. I was like, this guy does want to come. Like, I'm gonna try and get him.
Dude,
he's funny, man. Small world.
Very small world.
Yeah, no, I always bug him. I always say he's our creative butterfly of our group.
Creative butterfly.
He's been that man. You know, like he's one of those guys that like. He's been that way since day one, and he was probably one of the first hockey players I met that really kind of broke the mold of being a hockey player.
Yeah.
He was like, I play hockey, but I also like other things. I'm into this and that and doing my own thing. And it was cool because moving to Arizona, especially being in Calgary, which is such a hockey city and such a hockey town, and everyone at school knowing who your dad is and knowing the situation. And I mean, that's great. I mean, the minor hockey was great and didn't have any issues or anything like that. But once you leave a hockey city like that and you go somewhere where, especially like Arizona, where it's definitely not a hot button topic.
It's the furthest thing from.
It was cool. That was really the first time we kind of all got to just live as normal, I guess, as you can in that situation. My little brother got to go to high school there his whole career, which is unreal because their high schools are the dopest things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Like,
what do you mean?
Like they have there's the high school is like outdoors, so like when you walk out of your classroom in Arizona, like you walk out and like some of the doors just like walk right into like an open foyer like outside, and your lockers are like you know when you see a movie that's like based in California and like the lockers are outside and they like have like benches and like fountains and stuff.
Everything's
like legit,
just so
that's
rich.
what his university or his high school was. I went to like pick him up the first day I was down there for Christmas. I was like playing junior hockey, and I go pick him up, and like I pull in the parking lot, and every car is like brand new BMW, Porsche, like pimped out truck, all this stuff. And like every kid is just like, because there's so much wealth down there, and like especially in some of these areas, and like it was crazy. It was a whole nother world. So, but yeah, JT's a beauty, man.
Yeah,
he's a beauty.
Yeah, he seems like a good fella.
He's done.
Where's he live at now? Arizona still?
No, he's in LA actually. He's kind of getting in the podcast game too. He's been podcasting, kind of just doing just kind of influencing stuff like that.
Did he retire? He was in France or something, wasn't he, last year?
Yeah, I think he played a bit in France. I know he was in Russia, but that was like 2 years ago for a bit. And then I think last year he was in France. Yeah. For I don't know if he ended up staying the whole year or not, but I think he's having some concussion issues and stuff like that, and kind of just gonna settle down. And he's got a pretty good gig going for him in LA with like, I think he's got good setup there. So
that'd be fun.
Have you been to LA?
No, literally, like that's like one of the places I want to go. So I've been like all over the States, obviously playing. Never been to California. Like I flew into LAX, but I was like, that was just made me froth. I just wanted to miss my flight. And
it's a terrible airport.
Oh yeah, it's brutal. But like, I mean, I've been a Kings fan since I was a kid. Like I just want to go to LA so bad.
Yeah, it's dope, man. LA is dope. I mean, I love it because I've never spent like an extended time there. So like I think you do hear people be like, "Oh, it sucks." But
yeah, it's more of a vacay spot.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I mean, anywhere that's warm and has beaches is dope.
Yeah, I was gonna say, just hang out by the beach. Like they say, don't hang out in Hollywood. Hollywood's just full of like homeless people, bunch of wannabes. I walked into the McDonald's once and caught a guy jerking off in the urinal. Like that's Hollywood.
Dude, that's just like American things that happen. You know?
Yeah, that could just be America. I don't know.
I don't know.
That's just American, man.
But yeah, like beaches, unreal stuff.
Yeah.
Any place with palm trees, I think that's my kryptonite. Palm trees.
Yeah,
that's Arizona, man. I'm telling you, it's the greatest place on the planet. I'm a big advocator of it.
Have you ever been to Arizona?
No.
Man, my parents were there like 4 years ago. Said they loved it.
Yeah, it's unreal.
There's just nothing about it that pissed them off. Nothing.
No.
Got a little hot, but that's it.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever make anything of that? Like, you know how you'd go play like a Div 1 team? Remember how it was in the works where go play Arizona State?
No, it never came. I wanted to so
what
bad.
Are you talking about?
So like in with like the AUS and I guess kind of like U Sport, like all the men's hockey across Canada, like if it makes sense, like all the way across Canada, the teams from like BC, Alberta, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, all the university teams, Ontario, will just kind of go like straight down and play all those university teams in the States.
Okay.
So we played like UMass Amherst and like UConn, I think is who we played or whatever.
And then Sacred Heart.
Yeah. But we won it.
None of them.
Yeah. Oh, they go down and play Arizona State.
We have a pretty beauty story about that trip.
Tell it. What story?
Oh man. So
tell it.
This is my first year, and
do you know what he's talking about?
Oh yeah.
And I was just getting out of junior hockey, and I played for a super like insane coach in juniors. Like this guy like told you when you could piss kind of thing. Like very, very strict. And so it's my like first year here and kind of getting the vibes of the place and getting a good relationship with the coach and stuff, and like things are going well, feeling it out. So then we're heading down to Boston for our US trip.
Sick.
And so the coach at practice calls the boys in. He's like, all right boys, like bus is leaving at 5:00. He's like, we're loading at 4:30.
This is morning.
In the morning.
Yeah,
because we're driving it's like 15 hours to get down there.
Wait,
right?
so you're at the Form right now?
Yeah, just finished practice.
Yeah, just finished practice, and he was like, so this is when the bus is leaving tomorrow morning.
Okay. I get it now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's Thursday night. So the boys are sitting around at the place, and we're like, well, I mean, we gotta be on the bus at 5. Yeah. We're gonna sleep all day. Might as well go get a little snap on and jump on the bus after we're done. So the boys hit the town and had a night, and next thing we remember, our alarms are going off at about 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be on the bus at 5.
Oh yeah.
Man, I've never in my life panicked so hard. I've never moved so fast in my life. Some of the boys were waiting to pick us up to go. And
they would already been at the rink, and they like came back to get us because they originally tried knocking, and we were just like out of it.
So the bus came back, or the boys?
No, the boys. Like, they sent the boys back to get us, and it was just a mockery. Like I went there with nothing. Nothing. I had like a tracksuit jacket. I had to buy all my clothes. For some reason, I thought it was okay. Like I just grabbed my book bag in the morning, thinking I could do some schoolwork. Nothing in it. All my schoolwork was on my desk. So I had a track jacket and had to buy clothes.
We're like insta panicking. We're there for like 3 days, and we're all just in that ultimate panic mode. And like me and Johnny, the other roommate, kind of get some stuff in a bag. Nosy just grabs his book bag and just walks right out of the house. Book bag, tracksuit, boom, gone.
That's
and
it.
then that was the funniest part, man. Is the whole ride there. I'm like, I'm sick, dude. Like, I'm like, oh my god. Like, if this is juniors, like your bag's packed, you're going home.
Oh yeah,
like, that's what I'm thinking. Like, I'm done. I'm done.
So did you have your suit or anything? Like
no.
Oh no,
you had nothing. So you had to get a suit down there.
Oh yeah, I bought everything. I would literally put my tracksuit jacket on and grabbed an empty school bag and went away for 4 days.
So funny, dude. It's hilarious. So we literally get on the bus though, and like we're both like technically rookies at the time, so we're sitting near the front of the bus, and we literally get on. There's 2 seats on this entire bus, or 3 seats on the entire bus open. One for Johnny, one for Nosy, one for me. And I swear, man, we got on that bus and our asses hit the seat. And I don't think we woke up for 10 hours.
Yeah, literally. I woke up in like deep New Brunswick at like a rest stop, like one of those big stop Irving places. Just, oh man, it was crazy.
Did any repercussions come from this?
No.
Dude, never said a word.
Like, no, because
that was my initial, we were out of junior moment.
Yeah.
I was like, we're done with juniors. This is the real deal.
you know, it's preseason and like we're adults and stuff, and all that happened was we were walking the bus and Donzie throws out just like a small, like subtle, like, oh, what time's the bus leave, you little fuckers, right? Like, and we're just like, oh my god, like
I want to bury a hole and just sleep in it for the next 48 hours. But
That's
but
hilarious.
then you know, had to shake off a crushing hangover
by just sitting on
for
a bus.
like, you know, 15 16 hours, and then we played, and actually we played fucking so good against UMass Amherst that one game. Like, holy shit,
that was wild.
So that's a good one. That was the start of it too, because that was basically like our first game, but it wasn't regular season.
Dude, that was the best, man. That was awesome. Yeah.
I'm just mind blown right now.
Oh yeah,
Unreal.
So funny.
Well, boys, we're coming up on an hour here. I know you guys got places to be, so we can wrap it up here. You got to come back.
Yeah, absolutely,
Like,
man.
I feel like we haven't even.
No, man. I love
scratch the surface. Yeah.
I love shooting the shit. Every single guy that's ever played with me just tells me to shut up every time I open up my mouth. So
No, man.
they
This is
think I
the
wait for me
platform.
stories.
Yeah, this is the place to not do that.
Yeah, just come away and talk.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so thanks for coming. Nosy, thanks for coming.
for sure.
Do you want to say hi? I feel like the last minute is your guys' minute. If you want to say hi to family, friends, I don't know, you got a shout out, you got a game coming up you want to shout out, you got a exam you want to shout out to your someone, I don't know, professor,
Giver.
you got
No,
something?
I just say hi to all the fans and hope they enjoyed the show. And if you're in town, you like to watch some fast-paced hockey, come check out the Halifax Forum. We're hurting for fans. So if you got nothing going on, check out the schedule. Come check us out. It's pretty good hockey.
Make sure to say what team you play for.
Yeah, exactly. Dow Tigers.
Yeah.
Come check out the boys. Not the St. Mary's Huskies. Don't have to watch them.
No, they get enough in.
Yeah, exactly.
Nosy, give a shout out to your team.
Yeah, you know, shout out to the Cole Harbor Major Bantam Storm there. Great bunch of kids. Shout out to the other coaching staff there, Tyson Allers, Andrew Wigg, Billy Hartley. That's some great fellas there. More so a best friend group than a coach group, but
Bunch of beauties.
Oh yeah, we enjoy it. You know, it's a good time, and yeah, that's it. Thanks for having me back.
No
Belly.
worries. We'll get you back soon.
Yeah, I'll definitely come back again for sure.
Love it. All right, everyone listening, High Button, make sure to go to all of our social media outlets, like, subscribe, comment, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, SoundCloud, iTunes. I think I got them all. Thank you very much. Love you guys. We're out.